Okay, so today we're going to talk about 3-1. This is the new unit, lines and angles. Let's see, a transversal. We're going to say that this is the line T, which is right here. Okay, and we're going to say that it crosses these two parallel lines, L and M. And we're going to say that L is parallel to M, where this symbol means is parallel to. Okay, the transversal crosses two or more. Okay, the transversal crosses two or more lines. We can see it crosses line L and M right here, and it makes these 8 angles. We like to classify these angles in a very particular way. And to do that, we need to talk about the interior, which is in between these two lines, and the exterior, which is everything on the outside. So this would be the exterior. Okay, so when I say exterior angles, I'm talking about 1, 2, 7, and 8. And when I'm talking about interior angles, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, alternate exterior means they're on opposite sides, such as angle 2 and angle 7, and angle 1 and angle 8. The thing about these angles is that they are actually congruent. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 8, and angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. Okay, so they are on opposite sides on the exterior. Alternate interior means opposite sides on the inside. So that would be angle 3, which is congruent to angle 6, and angle 4, which is congruent to angle 5. Okay, so that's alternate interior. Corresponding, I want you to think location. The way to do corresponding angles, or the way I always do it, is I draw a box around my two intersections. Okay, and this gives me an idea of where the angles are. For example, angle 5 is in the same location as angle 1. So I know that they're congruent. Okay, and that's because they are both on the top right of their boxes. So that's what corresponding means. It means in the same location. You could also say 2 and 6, 3 and 7, or 4 and 8. Same side interior angles, well, these are on the same side, and these are supplementary, which is easy to remember because it's same side, that's 2 S's, and then supplementary, that's another S. So same side is supplementary. So we have interior, such as angle 4. If we take angle 4 plus angle 6, which are on the same side, we will get 180. And if we take angle 3 plus angle 5, we'll also get 180 because those are on the same side of the interior. Parallel lines never cross. Okay, and we use this symbol. And skew lines. Okay, skew lines are not parallel, but they never cross. Okay, you have to think about this 3-dimensionally. If you have in 3 dimensions, so this is in 3D, if you have 2 lines and one of them is behind the other, you can have a situation where they never cross, but it looks like they does if you only look in 2 dimensions. But in 3D, we know that, well, one of them could be behind and one of them could be in front. So this is just a very specific vocab word. So skew lines are parallel, but they never cross. Are not parallel, but they never cross. Okay. Name a pair of alternate interior angles. Let's see, I'm just going to run through these really quick. Alternate interior, that'd be 2 and 8. Remember that these are congruent. Okay, alternate exterior angles, these are also congruent. An example would be 4 and 6. Okay, a pair of vertical angles, we know that vertical angles are congruent. An example would be 1 and 3. There's a ton of different examples on here. You could say 6 and 8, 5 and 7, 2 and 4. Okay, same side interior angles. These are supplementary, not congruent. So same side interior angles, they're gonna add up to 180. So an example would be 2 and 5. Okay, and we haven't talked about these yet, but same side exterior are also supplementary. So for example, angle 4 plus angle 7 is going to be 180. Name a pair of adjacent angles, so they have to share a ray. Just looking on here, 1 and 4 are adjacent. 1 and 3 would not be adjacent. Okay, adjacent does not mean anything. You could consider it to be supplementary, but I just want you to focus on the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these other 5. Okay, in the figure, assume that the lines and planes that appear to be parallel are parallel. Another thing I forgot to mention is that when we have two parallel lines, we like to put these arrows on them in the middle of the line to show that they're parallel. So for example, if I wanted to say that BC and AD are parallel, I would put arrows on them like that. Which segments are parallel to AB? So I'm going to put 2 lines on AB because it's definitely not parallel to the other 2. So what segments are parallel to AB? Well, over here, CD is one of them. Okay, and if we look at the other corners of the boxes, we can see that EF is as well, and so is GH. Okay, the next one says, what is skew to CD? So let's make that red really quick. What would be skew would be a line like EH, which is not parallel, but it will never cross because in 3 dimensions, these 2 lines will never cross. Okay, you could say a lot more answers to that one, but I'll leave that up to you. What are 2 pairs of parallel lines? Well, we already know that AB and CD are parallel, so we can just do that, except we'll use the symbol for line on top. Okay, we would write it like this. Okay, AB is parallel to CD. We could also say that EF, which we could write as a line, EF is parallel to GH. Okay, what 2 segments are parallel to plane BCG? So plane BCG is going to be the back of the box back here. Okay, it's the side of the box that has BC and G, so it's the back of the box. Okay, so what are parallel to that plane? Well, let's see, AD is a segment that is parallel to that plane because it will never cross that plane. Also, we could do EH. Okay, so just thinking about it 3-dimensionally. When you do your delta math assignment, this is where you're going to get most of your info. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to figure out different measurements, you could say that angle 6 is 102 degrees. And then you could figure out, for example, okay, if 6 is 102 degrees, well then so is 4 because these are alternate exteriors and we know they're congruent. Okay, well, so is angle 2 and angle 8 because those are vertical angles. Okay, and if we subtract from 180, we can get the other angles in this picture. All of these angles, 1, 3, 5, and 7 are going to be congruent. And they're all going to be equal to 78. Okay, so we get this symmetry here. So as long as you can remember this diagram and this kind of like crisscross pattern of congruencies, then you're going to be just fine. I also provided this. This will give you a really good idea of what I mean by this here. It doesn't matter where I move this point. You'll notice that these vertical angles always stay the same. Alternate exteriors will always be congruent. Okay, and this is basically the general idea of how to do the delta math. Okay, so I know I waited this long to tell you this, but it is not required for you to watch this entire video to get 100 on the delta math, but I did put it in there just so it's all in one place. Please be good to the sub. I will see you guys on Monday, and have a good day.